And, you know, he grew up with a father that owned his own business, and he was a little bit rebellious at the time. So you start to see how he starts to mix in his world experiences. He was in a really bad car wreck as a teenager, should have killed him from all accounts. And, you know, you'll hear there's a million videos out there of him talking about, you know, how that influenced, but he was a big gearhead, a la American Graffiti. And, so those are the sort of influences I think that kind of formed him.
Mm,
And then he went to USC to learn, I think he was going to study anthropology,
mm.
and his dad was a little bit against this. You go get a business degree, you're going to come back and run the paper company, or whatever the company was that his dad owned, office supplies. And so he goes and starts taking anthropology classes, and he starts to learn about these cultures and myth and mythology and that sort of thing. And he really gets drawn into that. And at the same time, he is starting to play with visual media, and he's filming things in, you know, still cameras or stop motion, or, 8 millimeter, sort of playing around with those. And of course, he gets in with all these other kids that are doing the same thing, people that now still work for him, and they're these legends in the industry. Um, so his influences really he starts to sponge in influence from around him, and it affects him. I don't think he ever really wanted to become a filmmaker initially. It was that he wanted to express these sort of ideas.
Interesting.
Um, the the most fascinating thing I think about George Lucas is his patience, with media and the way to make film. He learned the most traditional ways, and very impressive that he, adapted and learned all these new things and then made them work for him. Um, you brought up Kurosawa, so he started to fall in love with these very simple stories with
Yeah.
complex emotive,
Yeah.
qualities.
And
Um,
following the two lowly characters, like the way he follows the droids, like the Hidden
yes,
Fortress with Kurosawa, like I think that was something particularly new, and you could see it reflected in all his works.
absolutely. The perspective of those two droids, or the two peasants,
Right.
is really unique, because
Yeah.
everybody, if you ask somebody that's not, I don't know, I don't want to sound snobby or anything like that, but somebody's not studied in those ideas, they're like, who's the movie's perspective from? Luke? No, it's from R2D2 and C3PO. I mean, everything is from their perspective, and they're witnessing this world transformation right in front of them, and they were kind of formed by that. We didn't learn that till later, but they were really
Yeah.
formed by that sort of thing, which I think is really interesting.